Hello and welcome into Cinema Debate. I'm your host, Dan Budick. This is Ithaca College's #1 Cinema Debate show. Today I'm joined by our esteemed panelists of Griffin Haas and Jonathan Rowe. Now let's get down to business, guys. First question's for you. If you were trapped on a desert island, what 3 movies would you bring? Griffin, we'll start with you.
It's an excellent question, Dan, and I thought about it for a while. First, I would bring The Dark Knight with Heath Ledger. I think that was, rest in peace, that was an amazing movie, an amazing performance by him in that movie. Second, I would go with Anchorman. I'm a big Will Ferrell guy, and that's my favorite Will Ferrell movie. I think it's probably the funniest movie I've ever seen. And then third, I'm going to keep the laughs coming with Wedding Crashers. I would rather laugh on this desert island by myself than watch an action movie over and over again. So I'm only going to bring 1 action movie, 2 comedies, and that's what I'm doing.
Jonathan?
Listen, I agree with you on Anchorman, but however, when you're on a desert island, you need to think about survival. You need to think about staying strong. You need to have something like Training Day with Denzel Washington, who's one of my favorite actors by far.
Great one.
You also need to have Ocean's 12 because you need to have some type of witty movie that keeps you, keeping smart. You gotta stay.
But if you have 2 movies that are like more suspenseful and more plot driven, don't you think that you'll get sick of hearing the same story the whole time? Because for me, with Wedding Crashers and Anchorman, I mean, you said Anchorman, but adding Wedding Crashers in there, I can get a lot more laughs. I know the laughs are coming, but I still laugh. And if I know what's happening in Ocean's 12 every time, I don't know if I'm going to be as interested in that.
Well, Jonathan, that brings me to a question for you. Why Ocean's 12 and not Ocean's 11?
Because I feel like out of all of them, Ocean's 12 had the right amount of. It also has some laughs in it too, if you're thinking about that sort of thing. So it has some good points for you too. So it's another reason why you should have picked that one. No. Ocean's 12 is just the perfect mix of action. Has a little bit of romance in there too. It has comedy. It has everything you need bundled up into one great movie.
What's better than Ocean's 12 and Ocean's 11?
Not just the actors, but just the scheme, the plot, and just it. It's the best one out of them all. Between every single other one, it's the one that I'm most, by far.
All right,
yes.
All right, guys, thanks for that. Moving on to our second question. What is the worst movie you have ever seen? Jonathan, this time we're going to start with you.
Okay, so I'm not a huge fan of CGI animation or anything else, so I have to say the B movie. I like Jerry Seinfeld, but this movie just had no point to it. Why is he a B? Why are all the actors Bs? Like, what's the point of the movie?
But why in Ant's life, or the Bug's life, why were they bugs? That's a question that you have to ask the producers. But for me, I'm gonna go. Like I said, massive Batman guy, but I gotta go Batman and Robin because that movie was absolutely horrible. George Clooney, I don't know what he was thinking when he signed on to do it. First of all, the nipples on the suits were ridiculous. That was unnecessary. Why do we have to see their nipples? I didn't need to see their nipples. Second of all, they start the movie and they're in this giant ice rink trying to get this diamond. They're playing hockey with the villains' ice skates shoot out of their shoes. It's ridiculous.
I don't know.
It's a horrible movie.
I think I'd rather see superpower ice skates than bees.
It is a weird concept for a movie with bees. I do see what he's saying about the bees. Who wants to see bees in a movie?
Did you watch Batman and Robin? Did you see Bane? He had that Mexican wrestling mask on. He couldn't talk, and he was just on steroids, and he had venom pumping into him. And
Batman and Robin is a terrible movie, but George Clooney was in it. He was brutal, but he was in it.
Still, Jerry Seinfeld was in that, and he's a great comedian.
Well, it was more his voice.
Yeah, it's just the voice. You don't see them. You don't see him acting.
I didn't see his nipples. Thank God. I saw George Clooney's. It was like, what is the point of that? And then Chris O'Donnell was pretty terrible, and Alicia Silverstone. Why was she in that movie? That was unnecessary. We didn't need. They just threw in a Batgirl out of nowhere.
So why not have a back?
That's fine, but don't just throw her in our faces out of nowhere and just be like, oh, it's Alfred's granddaughter.
But at least it's part
we
of
didn't even know Alfred had a family the whole time. She came out of nowhere.
Guys, I have to jump in. We got to move on to our final question. Disney movies, which is the best one of all time, Griffin?
It's The Lion King. Hakuna Matata. Timon and Pumbaa. Simba. Scar, Rafiki, yes, thank you, Justin, once again. They've got great characters, and I think it's the best storyline. I think it's the most iconic Disney movie. When you think Disney movies, you think Lion King.
I don't know. I'd say, sure, Lion King's all right, but I maybe be going with the Jungle Book.
The Jungle Book.
Jungle Book is a classic. But
the Jungle Book is a classic, but I just feel like more people I feel like have seen Lion King and identify with it. And also, I just think that all in all, it's just a better movie.
But do you really want to watch Simba's dad die again?
Oh, come on. But that was so emotionally, it was sad, but it was fantastic.
It is emotional.
And how he overcame it and came back to defeat Scar. That's a story that we can all
when it comes to Disney, I want to see smiles. I want to laugh. I don't want to see.
I want to see frown, but then they sing Hakuna Matata and Timon and Pumbaa are doing their thing, and everybody gets happy, and the kids are loving it.
Can I also talk about the fact that Simba just like runs away after like everything happens.
Yeah, he had
like,
to do his own thing. Like his dad died, bro. He had to get out of there, man. He had to
But he
get out of
couldn't say
that
goodbye to his
village.
mom,
He had to
though?
do his own thing. What?
He couldn't say goodbye to his mom.
Yo, he
no,
didn't have
his
no
whole
time.
family didn't know he
Guys,
was
no time for that.
appreciate the debate, but that's all the time we have today. Coming up next, an interview with director Taylor Neal, who is the director of his new movie, Drake, Behind the One Dance. Stay with us.
The way I used to love you, oh, I don't wanna know. Wasted. And the more I drink, the more I think.